Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Brothers Take podcast. My name is Chris. I am joined by my brothers, Adam
Hello.
and Eric.
Hello.
And we are back in the room this week to share first impressions of Ghost of Yotei, the next big PS5 game by Sucker Punch. Myself and Eric have it. Adam does not as of yet. So when we get into the main bulk of the conversation, I suppose myself and Eric will be giving our overall kind of first impressions. No spoilers, because we don't want to spoil it on each other, because I don't know how far either of us are.
I've
We don't
cleared it.
spoil it on Adam. It's very possible. We don't spoil it on Adam. We also don't want to spoil it on you, the listener. The game is so recently out. So this is all just first impressions, maybe answering some questions. Adam might have some questions for us as well about certain things so far. And this will really be a good opportunity to talk about it for people maybe who haven't jumped into the game yet and are kind of wondering whether they want to jump into the game. Or also just for people who are playing it and just want to hear where are other people at with this game so far in terms of the vibe of the game, how are they feeling about it, without getting into the actual spoilers, story spoilers, or specifics. So that's going to be our main topic, but we will also briefly talk about the whole Xbox situation with Game Pass, and I'm sure if you're in any way interested in gaming at all, you've already seen, you've probably seen everything on social media and stuff about this. So we're not going to be your news outlet for this. Let's face it. If you look for gaming news, you've already seen this shit. It's more if you want to hear other people's take on the whole situation or how we're feeling about it. But of course, depending on what you're here to listen to more, the timestamps will be down in the description. So if you want to jump straight into the Ghost of Yotei talk, you can do that. But if you want to hear our talks on the Xbox thing too, then check out the whole episode. And of course, as always, we want to hear your take too. So if this is on YouTube, jump down in the comments, share your thoughts. If you enjoyed this episode, give us a thumbs up, hit subscribe, ring the notification bell for future content. And to those who listen to us on audio platforms, you can also touch base on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and X at the Brothers Take again to give your take on Ghost of Yotei and what the hell is going on with Xbox. Without further ado, let's talk about it. So I think we'll touch on the Xbox thing first, just before we get into Ghost of Yotei, because I don't want it to be like tacking on at the end, and I want to give Ghost of Yotei like plenty of time, really, because it's the main topic this week, really, the first impressions of that. But well, Eric, you don't have an Xbox, right? So
I
again,
don't.
this is one where maybe you don't have a lot of thoughts on it. You're kind of like, hey, I don't actually care, because I'm definitely not getting into it now. It's like if ever I was gonna jump into the infrastructure of Xbox, this is not the time, But Adam, how are you feeling about I suppose the price hike with Xbox Game Pass and just sort of the overall Xbox
Yes, the whole thing.
situation, right?
The whole thing. It's just when you've known someone, right? Just distantly, like they're not a friend of yours, right? You know them, and they've they just kind of went off the rail a little bit.
Yeah, and
And
you're like,
you're kind of like, geez, yeah, I remember him. He was actually he got on well in school and stuff, and now he's
now,
not doing so good.
yeah, he's like preaching or something. I don't know what happened to him.
It's just. It's just
This is just
it's mad, but it's also sad to see. I actually it felt a little weird seeing not just this, it was everything coming out about Xbox, the new, because I only caught up recently with the ROG Ally thing,
Right.
which the
Which is
price was,
launching this week when this
yeah,
episode comes out, right?
so the price was recent enough, I think, and then there's the price increase on Game Pass. There's the whole restructuring, not just a price, uh, like up in the price. They just changed each tier as well. What's on offer. Um, and I'm just kind of worried about. I'm worried about Xbox actually. I think we kind of need it as a platform,
Hmm.
and it was always the console space was always really at its strongest, I think, when all three players were at their peak.
Mm.
Um, but the last two generations, it's just been a bit like, let's face it, Sony didn't really have to do anything.
Right. Sony is kind of like, as you were. Yeah.
Yeah, because I just recently saw I was just out of interest. I was looking at the PS5 sales.
Mm,
It's very, very close to meeting 360 PS3 sales in terms
yeah.
of numbers. There's like 80 million units sold, if not more.
PS5 is a popular console.
Which yeah, but it's like is that just by default though? You know what I mean? Like I mean,
Right. Like, what are the options?
are you
Like,
really going to pick up an Xbox really? Which is sad because the Xbox Series X at least is actually a really good console. The actual box is really, really good. The hardware in there is great. And it's got some features that are quite unique to it.
hmm.
Um, so yeah, it's really unfortunate to see the kind of brand just the ship is sinking, it looks like.
Yeah, yeah, it's strange. And like this is the second time this year that Game Pass has gone up in price. You expect subscriptions to go up. Netflix have done it, Disney have done it, Amazon have done it. Everyone does it, right? But you expect it to go up by a small bit every couple of years and like ease you in. This kind of like going up by 50% is a huge price hike. You know, it's
Mm.
massive, and someone has done the maths now. Like we were all saying, remember the PlayStation tier system? I remember when that first came out. Like we did a whole episode, I think, on at the time of like, what the fuck are they doing? Why don't they just do what Xbox is doing? You know, the Game Pass thing is so simple. You know, it's just one at the time, like one price, and you know, and now they have three tiers, and the highest on Xbox's side is now more expensive than the highest on PlayStation side, which was like at the time like we were like they're crazy with the PlayStation prices. That's nuts. Who's going to pay that, you know? And now it's
Hmm.
like I think someone did it like did the math and like was it what now sorry, they did it in dollars, so I haven't done the
Yeah, it's
conversion to euro, but it was something like $360 a year it would
mhm.
cost if you pay the ultimate Game Pass subscription for the whole year, versus the PlayStation one was $160 for the year.
Yeah.
Like that's a
That's a
massive
massive
Well,
difference. Like,
the joke going
difference.
around right now is that Microsoft did manage to bring back the 360.
Right. Just in price, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It was
I like,
genius marketing then.
I like. Maybe I didn't say this, but I was never a huge fan of the Game Pass system.
You've
I
definitely
think.
said that, yeah, yeah.
Well, no, I've definitely said that. The next part I'm about to say is I don't know if I've said that,
Oh, okay.
which is that it just never looked like a I know I definitely said this consumer because you would defend it as consumer wise,
Yeah.
it's amazing. But I was like, that just doesn't look good for the makers, for the company. I just don't think Game Pass was something that was
Sustainable.
it's thank you. Yes,
Yeah.
sustainable. And I think
Yeah, there
right
was
now
a
we're seeing what
yeah, there was a huge
that.
like talks and debates for a long time to see whether or not is this even viable really long term. Obviously, well, actually, I don't even know. I think it could have been actually. Is it healthy for the big publishers? Some said it was, others said it wasn't. So
Yeah.
I think it just depended on the publisher or whatever deal they were getting. See, I don't think this is coming from Xbox at all. I really don't. I don't think this is coming from Microsoft. This is a Microsoft decision, not an Xbox decision.
Yeah, but what's the
Maybe.
tactic, right? Because like it's I mean, the
There's
and
no way
everyone's probably
Mike.
seen right the cancellation page
Yeah.
went down because it was overloaded by people wanting to now cancel Xbox Game Pass. I suppose it's a push maybe to push physical sales. I don't mean physical as in physical copies, but actually like even the digital games, but like buying the games in total instead. I can't see this pushing people towards Game Pass. And like the big one, like everyone's mileage is going to vary in terms of what they used Game Pass for. Some people might still look at it as, well, I play all the time, and yeah, this like I play hundreds of games. I would still pay this, and if I was to buy all the games that I play, I would be spending more than that money. So
Hmm.
someone might feel that way, right? But like for me, the big appeal was that day one thing with the
Yeah.
Xbox exclusives.
Which
Um,
PlayStation didn't even have, right?
which
No.
PlayStation didn't have. So that was the appeal of it. And it was like, great, yeah, I'm gonna play those exclusives day one. I know I'm gonna have them, I'm gonna jump into them. And I'm
Yeah.
not too worried about whether I even finish them or not. Um now and there was times where like if it got quiet, I would cancel it and then like when it's coming up to here comes the game, I'd like, okay, well I'll pay for these 2 months, get through these games and then cancel it again. I would do that. But
Yeah.
now I mean, if there was a game that came out, say it was a big game, say it was the Elder Scrolls 6, right? Now, I would likely buy that anyway. But let's just for argument's sake say I wasn't going to buy the Elder Scrolls 6. I was just going to play it on Game Pass. And it's like, okay, I'd want a good 2-3 months of playing that anyway. Well, at that rate, I might as well buy it. Because, like, before it was, say, I don't know, but mine was only fucking €12 a month or something, and I was
Yeah.
getting those day one games. They're moving those from that tier though. So, and then in the second tier, the exclusives will come within a year. So the only
Yeah.
one that has them day one now is that $30
The high one.
a month one. I don't know what that translates to over here.
I think it's €27 for us.
Yeah, it's like okay, so yeah, just buy the game then, I suppose.
You'll have
Yeah.
forever then, yeah.
Yeah, I think
at
that
that
they were
rate.
thinking that by throwing in the EA thing and the Ubisoft thing, not EA, was it EA? It's definitely Ubisoft, and there's Fortnite or something like that in there. They were saying, oh, that's why it's that price. But it's like, but I don't care for any of them. If that's the case, then there should be a fourth tier.
Yeah, I think like if they said EA, Ubisoft and Fortnite, like think in the majority of the gaming space, Fortnite is probably the only thing mentioned there that does not have a bad rap. Like a bad rap. Like so if like you having Ubisoft and EA define the
It's something
pricing
to do with because I think
Is it
Ubisoft
something
has their own subscription.
via the
Um,
UB player or something like that, or UB Connect or
and
something.
then there's like there's anyway it's like there's a couple of subscriptions all included in this one, and if you care for all of those, then actually yeah, this would be saving it. But it's like, well,
But what if you only want one part of that,
yeah, I
which
don't
is
want
the
any of those
yeah?
bits. I just want the day one part, and
Does,
it's
does this
almost as
have
if there's a tier missing.
does this have anything to do with like this news came out just after Saudi Arabia bought EA? Now,
Oh
I'm
no,
not trying to like get
no.
into conspiracy hat theory thing, but I'm just like, is anyone like, because the third tier is the one that includes the EA stuff, right?
Well, is it EA? I can't remember actually.
Or is it just Ubisoft?
That could be wrong, but I know there's definitely a couple of different subscriptions included in it.
Yeah.
No, I think this probably was coming a long time. Like if we look at just the way the Xbox thing is moving right now, like even with the handheld, um, that's clearly Microsoft pushing Xbox out of hardware. Going to get someone else to make the hardware now. Um, their campaign right now seems to be this is an Xbox, that's an Xbox, and they're referring to things like the PC, the
Phone.
laptop, the phone, the
Yep.
ROG, your TV at some point is going to be considered an Xbox because they're all going to have. This seems to me is just Microsoft is like really all in on their cloud infrastructure
Yep.
and the ability to the subscription model, the services side of it, clearly wanting to get more people to in on Windows, considering that's what the ROG Ally and stuff is running. And this has just been a long time coming, and I think Microsoft themselves are a bit frustrated. They were the ones that were pushing the Xbox One.
I wonder, I wonder, is this like if you were to talk to, Phil Spencer and Samantha Bond and all this, like, would they have been like, look we will get there, like, have they been saying basically to, like, say, Microsoft, like, we'll get there eventually, please, like, we're doing good, trust us, we've got a plan, blah. And did Microsoft just eventually go, look this is taking way too fucking long, we're pulling the rug, this is what we want to do, this is where we wanted to get to in the, like, 2 years ago, and you
This
kept
would-
telling
that-
us, but
that-
we've got these acquisitions, just let us do this first,
That would
Maybe
be
the-
my guess. Just kind of
Yeah.
based on even just the history. The company has always been kind of interfering a bit. with the original Xbox, they really had to kind of convince Microsoft to do this, because they were kind of worried about the likes of the PlayStation eating into Windows games, gaming
Mm,
on Windows. So they felt, oh yeah, like what if we just had a home platform then that could compete in that space. And then towards the end of the 360, there's the whole push for the Kinect kind of thing, and then leading into Xbox One. I know that Bill Gates, when he was back at Windows or running Windows or Microsoft rather, they always wanted to get a set top box into the living room and control TV. And I
right.
think they saw the Xbox as an opportunity to fucking do that. So they've always been trying to make Xbox this kind of Trojan horse for them, to push their other the main company, Microsoft.
Yeah.
That would be my guess of as what's happening here.
It's a real shame though, man, because like to be kind of ending the year with Xbox on like a down note, because like at the start of this year, like Eric, you'll remember, like Xbox was my primary gaming console for most of this year. I played so many amazing games on it. That's where I played Expedition 33 because it came to Game Pass.
Mm.
South of Midnight was a really creative game. I played Doom: The Dark Ages on it. I jumped into Oblivion Remastered on it. I was like, holy shit, like they're just coming and coming and coming. This is amazing. I'm really enjoying my use of Game Pass. Um, and like with them as well, going fairly third party with a lot of stuff, like a lot of games are coming to PlayStation anyway. I think this will only hurt them. I think people will, like if they had to choose between the two, let's say they have both, right? Let's say they're in that situation where, they're one of the, as you said, like one of the many millions who have bought a PS5, and like many people did do, they bought the Xbox as their Game Pass machine, right? And in this case, they're like, I'm mad at you now, so I'm gonna buy the PlayStation version of it, which I know still gives them money because they made the fucking game, but I just don't see. I can't see this being a good move in any way. And I was wondering, do we in a little while get an apology where they drop it by, say in America they drop it by $5 and everyone's like, thank you, that's better. But they still went up by, it's still
Hmm.
not like great, but it's like because it's better than 30, it's like, oh, okay, I'll take that.
Mm.
I don't know. I don't know
They,
how you manage this.
but back to the tier system just for a second.
Sure.
Yes, it includes EA Play and Ubisoft Plus classics. Oh, so it's just the classics of Ubisoft Plus and EA Play, I think is what this is saying. And then Fortnite Crew is coming in November.
Yeah, but Ubisoft released what, like 10 Assassin's Creeds a year, so does it only take 2 years before one becomes a classic? I don't know.
Yeah, they do. It would be a huge library of
It'd be massive,
Ubisoft
like
games.
yeah, like don't
But
get me wrong, you're getting so many games, but the reality is how many games are you playing a month though?
yeah,
That's the difference. Whatever about like you could put however you could say, oh, you're gonna get 1,000 games if you go on this tier.
and it might be
That's
fine.
fantastic, but
Yeah,
I'm gonna play one.
yeah,
So it
but
doesn't matter.
and it might be fine, but in the landscape of like Netflix, Disney, Apple, not that's just the film streaming. Then you're probably, I don't know if you have cloud storage for like your phone that you're paying for, or maybe there's a
Mm,
a subscription for like um a warranty thing or something on one of your devices, or like there's just so many subscriptions
yeah,
to
why
try
is
and keep
entertainment
balance.
becoming a bill? Like
Well,
it's
what's
it's
mad
it's
is that
becoming like an
like,
electricity bill or a bin bill.
well, it was like it was the thing that killed cable, and then and then all of a sudden it became like now Sky TV is like the best deal, which is a wild thing to think about. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's just so strange and it's sad, and yeah, they're kind of making themselves pretty irrelevant. Because if you
I
even think in the PC space
Mm,
alone
yeah.
on that front, like they've got major competition there.
Yeah.
It's yeah, I do find it weird. Microsoft, you're probably right, Adam, with Microsoft pushing this thing and stuff and getting in the way. But I mean, it's Microsoft. They're fucking minted and loaded. I can't really see them being super stuck for
Well, it's
cash.
yeah, no, it's not that. It's like if you um look at the industry as a whole, like everyone's upping their prices. It's making sure that they keep their shareholders happy. Every year they need to be shown that they're getting enough revenue.
Hmm.
If they're not doing that, that's going to really affect their stocks.
Well, how do their shareholders feel now?
Yeah, probably fucking annoyed
like
now, I'd
like
say.
this is not a good move no matter what way
Mm.
you look at it. I don't think even I've like in any of the other podcasts I've watched, like the biggest Xbox defenders coming out to be like,
Yeah, I saw some of them.
like, and it feels so bad, like, because they're like, I have been saying for years that it's like the most consumer friendly way to play, the best deal in gaming is Game Pass, and they're like, it hurts now to say that no, it's not. you
Yeah, and
know?
they're right too. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, and it's not like, if something like Spotify or Netflix up their price, people would be pissed off, but they'd probably deal with it because there really isn't anywhere else to turn.
Well, yeah, they go down to the pub, they get their pint, and they complain about it to their friends. But this is a thing where
Here
it's
we've loads of places to turn.
yeah, because it'd be the equivalent of like if one of the movie streaming sites, Amazon, Netflix, Hulu, whatever, if they decided to up their price by 50%, again, like yeah, let's say it was Netflix did it, you can just cancel Netflix. You just go to Disney, you just go to Amazon, you just go to Hulu. Like, so they have to kind of balance the pricing to make sure that they can stay in line with their competitors. This just kind of feels like they forgot they had competitors. You know what I mean? Because they
Right,
just
Yeah.
did
yeah, yeah.
Xbox because
Yeah,
they
it's like, let's drive you all to the other places you can play these games.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you're right, actually. Yeah, that's true.
I don't even think PlayStation Plus is even
That bad a deal anymore.
well, it's not even that it's no, it wasn't good anyway. It's not as compelling. Even the current Game Pass is still a better looking um offering than what PlayStation Plus is. It's just PlayStation Plus just looks more desirable because of its pricing, but
Yes.
it was never a good deal really. Let's face it, I think most of us are just subscribed just so that we can play online really.
Yeah, I mean, and like this will lead us on to the next topic shortly, but like, you're going to keep that. You pay that the lowest tier one so that when Legends mode comes out for Ghost of Yotei, we can all play Legends mode together, and yeah, it's that online aspect. I suppose if you wanted to go up the other tiers, like if you're someone maybe who isn't like always keeping up with the latest game, like there is something I suppose a bit appealing in, okay, let me pay the whatever it is, the 160 for the year for my kid, right? And I'm not buying them any games this year though. Like they just play from that catalog for the whole year, whatever they want
Yeah.
on that. Versus the person who's actually keeping up with it. It's like, no, I'm getting the next, I'm getting Wolverine and I'm
I don't know.
getting Death
I
Stranding and
that 160 price and even the PlayStation Plus, is it called Premium or is it called?
Premium is the top one.
Yeah, that to me just sounds like it's something for the hardcore gamer. The hardcore gamer would be willing to do that, but the offerings there aren't for hardcore
Yeah,
gamers.
see,
So
I think that
strange.
the name sounds hardcore gaming, but the catalog sounds casual gamer.
Yeah, but a casual
You
gamer is
know?
just not happy enough to pay 160 quid a year.
Yeah, true. Yeah, yeah. Probably not.
You
Is
know?
there a monthly version of that, or is it only
Yeah,
yearly?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, it's monthly. Yeah.
You can pay monthly.
You can pay monthly. Someone might do that, maybe.
I think it might be. I don't know if it's cheaper to pay for the year
I think it is actually.
something
Now
like
that you
that.
say it, for each of them, I think you get it
Yeah, I
cheaper
think
if
so.
you just pay for the
I
year
think I might be signed up to the premium.
at the moment. Well, you see, if you sign up like now, say if you wanted to try it out now, right?
Hmm.
You only pay the difference of what it would be for the rest of this year. So I think at
Yeah.
the moment, like if I wanted to try out premium, right? Let's say I wanted to see what the PlayStation Portal Cloud streaming is like, right? It's like to do a full test on all of its capabilities. I think it's only like €30 now to upgrade to it for the rest of the year. So as a test,
Okay.
that's
For
not
me, it's
bad.
yeah. It depends on when you've signed up. So for me, it will be
think so.
70.
Right, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's different. That's different, But guys, let us know what your thoughts are all these crazy price hikes for Xbox. What do you think it's about? Do you have a better take on it than we do, even beyond just the theorizing? And how do you feel about it? If you're an Xbox player, has it made you decide, fuck this, I'm out of here? Are you like, no, fuck it, I play so many games that doesn't even scratch the surface of what I would be spending otherwise? Or let us know your thoughts on it. Clearly, a lot of people aren't happy about it, but that doesn't mean that's how everyone feels about it. But I suppose getting into the main topic then, on PlayStation side of things, where nothing dramatic has happened, but they've just launched one of their biggest games this year and made everyone possibly very happy, or maybe not. We'll see. So for this, obviously, we have said no spoilers for Ghost of Yotei, beyond just like what the premise that everyone knows is, right? And maybe our thoughts on that, but without getting into any specifics. But yeah, overall impressions first. Eric, what are your overall first impressions? I don't know how much you've even played of this thing.
Story-wise, I've actually done very little because I actually love the exploration aspect of it. Because they showed it in one of the gameplay trailers. So there is like a cartographer. You can buy little maps from him, and then you can line it up on your own map, and like that's how you find locations. It's just the whole exploring and using the spyglass to mark new locations on your map. So I really love the exploring aspect of it. So I haven't done much of the story. The bounty hunter stuff is pretty cool as well. The physics on the horse is very good. I like it. At first, I thought it was really jarring and weird. Every time you get on the horse, it goes into this like cinematic mode. Like the black bars come down.
I'd be careful about how much you're saying, because for some people, I would consider half of what you're saying spoilers. If they've gone in blank to all of this, I would like. There's some of those things that's like, these are really nice surprises.
Okay.
You know, I don't just mean story stuff. You're like, but then what can I talk about?
I have to say, I've everything that Eric has just said, I've seen through like YouTube Shorts, Instagram clips.
Okay, fair enough.
I think it is out there.
It's all out there.
And
okay.
it would be some of the questions I have, I guess. Well, actually, just the map thing, I think.
Yes.
Okay.
All
Sorry,
I said was
my
at
bad.
first that was jarring to me, but I got it used, so I liked it. So far, gameplay wise and like graphically, it looks very similar, but not in a they haven't pushed it in just the there's my beautiful Japan that I would love to explore and stuff like that. And the use of the wind and the exploration is really great. It took me some time to get used to the combat again because I hadn't played in ages, so I was used to like Valhalla and Clair Obscur. So trying to get used to, oh shit, that guy is hitting me. Try parry. But yeah, like I don't know how much more I can say considering Chris might fucking rip my throat out.
I'm sorry if that came across aggressive. No, I was just a bit worried that it was like, because
there's that bit when Darth Vader comes around.
Yeah, and
the
she
game
says
exists and it's clean.
Yeah, when she says it's Atsu time, and she just rips off her kimono and sorry, I didn't mean it. I just there is so many like surprises in this game, and I don't think the story is necessarily going to be the thing that everyone's going to be talking about or that's going to actually grip people. I think it's going to be just the world and the things you will find in the world.
You could say that about the first one, couldn't you?
Yeah, look at the reality is, if you've played Ghost of Tsushima and you liked Ghost of Tsushima, there's a good chance you're going to like Ghost of Yotei, because it's more of what you liked Ghost of Tsushima, but there is some new stuff, some new twists, some new changes. My impression so far is that I really like it, but I'm not loving it yet. And I think when I think back, though, I felt the same way when I started Ghost of Tsushima. So I'm also I'm doing this check on myself where I'm going, I don't know, like I miss some stuff from Ghost of Tsushima. But then I was like, but hold on now. When I first played Ghost of Tsushima, I said the same thing at the start. I was like, it's grand, but why is everyone
Yeah.
saying it's like amazing? And then you hit these points and you go, oh, and you hit more points. You go, oh shit, oh. So the more, like, obviously, I have not played nearly enough of this game to get to those points. I still feel like I'm so early because I still feel like I'm just starting off with things and finding I've done fuck all the story, right?
I've
You
done
know,
fuck all
'cause
the story.
you're trying to do something and then something catches your eye or something else, and you're like, that looks like a thing, and you go do that, and then you're on your way to do something, but someone stops you to say something, and you go, well, okay, I guess I'll do that now, and you get so sidetracked the whole time by other shit that you go, I don't even fucking remember what I was going to do. This game is going to take a long time to play, I think, you know?
So I loved Tsushima the moment it started.
Yeah, yeah.
I was very big into it. Very This one though, I feel like I'm gonna be a bit like you, Chris, with when you've played Tsushima. So at the moment, the story isn't gripping me as much.
Hmm.
I'm not as gripped with the story. I'm just more gripped with the world itself. And I don't know, is that just they just did a really good job at crafting an interesting world, or is it just that? And this is from the setting of the game, Chris. Just for the trailers, okay?
Yes, yeah, yeah, okay, okay.
Is a revenge tale in an open world not the best idea?
Right.
Yeah, because
That
is it like a pacing issue?
Well, there's the element of like I want to go follow the yellow bird or the fox.
Was my character?
But does,
yes,
yeah.
but does Atsu want to do that? And so I do
Sure.
find that there's that element, but like what Chris is saying, it's just the, oh wow, look at that, and oh look, what's this and stuff, and you go off, and again, as I stated, just spyglass, and you find things. You're like, oh cool, like, what's that like, and I'll go over and explore that stuff. So I think that's so far exploring the world I'm loving.
Very much
But
so.
I can't say I like Chris. I
found
can't
that
say
with
much
the-
about the story because I haven't played much of it.
There's also like just beautiful vistas everywhere you look. So like you were saying, Eric, where it's like I think like the character models look good. They're not the best character models you've ever seen. This is not like Naughty Dog level of detail on characters, but it's like perfectly good. But it's just looking in the distance. Like I've taken a couple of screenshots already, you know, and like photo mode, played around with that because you're just like, oh, look at this. Like everywhere you look is like a fucking painting, you know? It's absolutely beautiful. But it's not like in the close up it's beautiful. It's always in the distance it's beautiful, you know? And just
Yeah.
like vibrant colors and amazing lighting.
I think I
coming
prefer
in.
that.
What do you mean?
There's something about like so. Joe, I always bring up Red Dead 2 as a game that I just think just looks absolutely stunning. In terms of the art direction and the just the fit and finish that they've done. But if you look at the textures up close, there you can see that this is an aged game. This is not, it's not great. But you see, you're not spending your time doing that when
No.
you're riding around on a horse.
You're
I
riding
think
into the distance.
what I think matters is actually where I'm looking needs to look great.
Yeah,
And
well,
a lot of games I've found this generation in particular is that everything has looked really pretty okay or great up close, but in the distance they're not so good. And like I was playing when I was playing Rebirth, pausing that menu, and you see the characters there, right? And I was like, if you actually just walk up to the TV, you can see the veins in Cloud's arm and
Right.
these little pores and the specks, that the imperfections that would be in someone's skin.
yeah, he
And
looks
it's like,
amazing.
I can't see that though when I'm playing the game. Like, I
Yeah,
just
so
can't.
it's
That's
unnecessary level of detail.
wasted potential. But the background looks like arse,
Right,
So
yeah.
I just think I've seen a couple of videos, especially Digital Foundry, what they did with Ghost of Tsushima. I don't know if you've seen that. That's absolutely worth watching.
Right.
This is the first game where I ever saw like ray tracing and went, holy shit, that looks fucking good.
Yeah.
That actually looks phenomenal. And it's the first time really that I've seen that and went, yeah, that actually makes a major difference.
You would also love, I don't know if you've seen, you'd love the load speed.
Yo, outside of the Astrobot games, this game is the best use For better or worse, depending on what people like or dislike, this game is the best use of the PS5
Yeah, it
outside
is.
of the Astrobot game in terms of the utilization of the DualSense
Hmm.
and utilizing like the SSD and stuff. Like it's just crazy.
Yeah, because I think last
Spider
night.
Man was pretty good though, wasn't it? Spider Man was very good
Oh
with
yeah,
the
yeah,
SSD.
but Astrobot or sorry, Spider-Man did not have you utilizing the controller as much as this game
No,
does.
okay.
This
Right?
game uses the controller very well. Does a lot of the vibrations and trackpads and
And
stuff.
some
Is
people
very
don't
good.
like that. I've heard like they're like, "Oh,
Huh?
stop with the controller shit." I've heard them talk about that. I'm like, I think it's every time it happens, I'm like, "Oh, this is cool. Haven't done this in a game."
Actually there's
You know,
one thing
it's
you
new.
can do in the game, right? And I think you have to kind of slowly pull on R2 or something like that. And I was like, oh, I wish they did something else that you can do in Astrobot,
Oh yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I know what you
but it's never been utilized in any other game. And I was like,
mean.
oh, this would be
Right.
the right time to do that. But I was playing it last night, and then I was of course playing it this morning, and I went to go, okay, I'm gonna click on, put the disc in, load up Ghost of Yotei. Naturally, of course, we get all the the PlayStation logos and the main menu, all those things, all those the graphics of Sucker Punch. Not with this game. I press X. There she is, right in front of me, standing in the field. I was like, whoa, whoa, slow the fuck down. I wasn't ready for that. I was
So it's
ready for
almost
the.
like the Xbox Quick Resume.
Yes,
Yeah, it's
it
so
was
quick.
so quick.
Yes.
But this wasn't this like I had obviously taken the disc out and everything of that. So when I clicked, I was like, holy shit.
Oh,
Yeah,
very nice.
the load times are absolutely incredible. And again, look at there is things where it's like not every NPC looks amazing or anything like that, but in reality, they're there just to give you stuff to do. You know what I mean? It's the world that's like, and like it was the same thing with like Ghost of Tsushima was about two characters, Jin Sakai and Tsushima.
And his sword. Okay.
So then this game is about Atsu, which is obviously the story mode, and it's about the surrounding areas of Yotei. So the world is a major character. But yeah, so it's like one thing I would say is because Eric, when you were saying that it's like, oh, it's been a while since I played Ghost of Tsushima, so it took a bit of relearning. So I have been replaying Ghost of Tsushima in the lead up to this as prep. I do not recommend anyone to play Ghost of Tsushima before jumping into Ghost of Yotei. Just play Ghost of Yotei as a game in its own right, because not everything is the same, and I've been pushing the wrong buttons in Ghost of Yotei that I've gotten so used to. So Square is assassinate silently in Ghost of Tsushima, and Square is not assassinate silently in Ghost of Yotei.
I've been trying a few times.
Yeah, and I've been trying to do sneak kills and then alerting everyone. So I actually do, and the other thing is you get so attached to the characters and world of Tsushima, and this is a very different place, a different time period, and very different characters, that I was kind of like, oh, I miss these guys and I miss that and I miss this place. It's not good. So Ghost of Tsushima is an incredible game. Do not play one and then jump into the next. I don't think it's a good idea. It's a separate beast.
Or two still the like main pick up
Yes.
shit button
Yeah,
and stuff.
it is,
Okay,
yeah.
right. So
Yeah.
So
oh,
I
that's
have-
interesting why they changed that. I'm sure you can re-button map.
Possibly. I haven't looked into doing that because I was just like going with the game and trying to get as much of it in as possible.
Yeah.
But I was just surprised the first time that happened. I went, wait, what? What are you doing to me? And then there's like certain functions that like, so this game, you will unlock things in a completely different order, and certain abilities and certain things will be mapped to certain, so like things that I could just do as Jin Sakai, I cannot just do as Atsu. And I was trying to do those things during combat, and I was like, why can't I do that? So it's just it's a game in its own right, and it's its own journey. And I don't think because I heard it like there were some people like kind of saying it's like, oh, I need to kind of brush up on Ghost of Tsushima before I jump into Ghost of Yotei. I wouldn't. I would just, if you're going to get Ghost of Yotei anyway, just jump into Ghost of Yotei. It'll only confuse you, I think. To be honest. But also all the stuff you kind of want from Ghost of Tsushima, you're going to get in Ghost of Yotei. You know what I mean? If you enjoyed following golden birds and following the wind and finding things in the world hidden away, they're still impressively trying to give you, 'cause, like, the world is so big, they're still trying to give you, 'cause, like, the world is so big, they're still trying to give you, 'cause, like, the world is so big, they're still trying to give you, 'cause, like, the world is so big, they're still trying to give you, 'cause, like, the world is so big, they're still trying to give you, 'cause, like, the world is so big, they're still trying to give you, 'cause, like, the world is so big, they're still trying to give you, 'cause, like, the world is so big, they're still trying to give you, 'cause, like, the world is so big, they're still trying to give you, 'cause, like, the world is so big, they're still trying to give you, 'cause, like, the world is so big, they're still trying to give you, 'cause, like, the world is so big, they're still trying to give you, 'cause, like, the world is so big, they're still trying to give you, 'cause, like, the world is so b stuff to do without overloading the map with UI. You know, there. In fact, there's even some things I miss from Ghost of Tsushima. I don't feel like it's a spoiler to say this, but like, there's no when you're heading towards a destination in Ghost of Tsushima, it would give you the distance, and that distance would count down as you get closer. And in this game, it
Right.
doesn't do that. And I'd be like riding forever and kind of wondering, am I even anywhere near the thing that I? And then I open up the map and I go, no, I'm not. I'm fucking nowhere near it. And I do miss that because it gave you a sense of I'm getting closer and closer to the thing, you know?
Might be worth having a little dive into the options and see, like,
Can I turn it on?
yeah, are these things in there? Because the first party studios have been really, really good about offering things like especially accessibility features and stuff like that. So those might be things that are hidden away in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Mm.
I think one little gripe I have with the game so far, apart from that feeling of, um, like my initial feeling was actually like there's some amazing shit in this and like stuff where oh, you know, that kind of feeling that you get when you're introduced to new stuff and new things happen and cool moments and just vistas where you go, oh, look at that. But I did also have moments where, and this might sound silly to say, but I was like, I don't recognize this game. I had that like thought in my head in that
Mm.
way of like, this is the sequel to Ghost of Tsushima. And I think I need to stop thinking about it that way. Because if I keep thinking about it that way, I'm going to continue this. I just don't recognize this game in a way.
Mm.
Yeah, I will admit that I've been nothing wrong with Atsu and Erika Ishii's performance, but I'm certainly, even though it's been a long time since I've played it, I am missing Jin Sakai.
Yeah, look,
And I'm
I
kind of, I suppose I'm very early in the story,
of
but at the
course, this
moment
could all change.
it could change, but at the moment I'm kind of a little bit going, I feel like I could still be Jin Sakai in this story at the moment.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I, with a few little twists and turns, I think you could have put him in it. Other than the fact it's a couple of centuries later, so he's obviously dead. But um, so I'm waiting for that moment of like, this is why, and here we're getting it. And but then again, I am literally in the first little like prefecture area. Like I have not
Yeah.
moved anywhere else. I am doing everything there.
I'm just missing the walking up to towns and settlements and Lord Sakai, you know, I'm just missing that feeling of like, I don't know. Yeah, there's something that I feel is missing, but it's a different tale. It's a different story. It's a different vibe.
Yeah, it'll be
You
almost the
know.
equivalent of having to go right. It's Assassin's Creed 2 to Assassin's Creed 1. Like you're not playing as Altair in Assassin's Creed 2. You're playing as Ezio, which means he plays differently. He approaches things differently. There's different stuff. So it's the same thing. Atsu approaches things very differently to Jin Sakai because he was a samurai turned ghost. She is a vengeful woman. She's wrath incarnate.
Yeah, yeah. But
Very
there's some also like then there's some new stuff here that's just so fucking cool that you're like, oh man, this is amazing. I love this shit.
Mm.
some
So
really
yeah,
nice stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, there's some nice things. Because I think yes, there's some really nice touches where it's like you didn't really have to do that, but it's really nice that you did. There was something I had to do as part of a main story mode, and I at first I was trying to do it, and then at one point I kind of realized like, oh, I'm only using half the controller right now. That's really cool. Like story
Yes.
wise, why you're using only half the controller is a very cool reason.
Yeah,
Um,
I was actually blown away by that.
yeah,
It's a
and I
simple
did.
thing, but it was like that's so clever. Utilizing the controller as part of telling the story, I thought was like
Mm,
incredibly clever.
yeah, I like the shamisen because Jin Sakai had his flute. She has the shamisen, so she has that string yoke. Which there's someone on Instagram I actually follow, and she plays it too. It's a very cool instrument. Um,
Yes, yeah.
so you can yeah, so that's very cool. And that plays a slightly different function to how the flute works. With the flute, you get the different songs and it changes the weather. So this time it doesn't necessarily do that. It can do other things. And I was like, that's cool as well, adding new stuff that way. And yeah, so far it's the same game, but it's not the same game.
Yes, yeah, yeah, very much so. And like, yeah,
Is this making sense to you, Adam, or are we just like Charlie Day with the fucking like strings and shit?
you know what I mean? The I'm not loving all of the voice acting,
Fair, right? Yeah.
and I'm not necessarily talking about Eric Ishii's performance so far. That seems fine. There's moments that I don't think are great that I would have cast differently to what they've done here. It does not sound right to me. But there's some other characters. They sound a little bit more. And I know most of them probably are American, but they just sound more American than they did in Ghost of Tsushima to me. Some NPCs and characters and things, and uh, yeah, I don't know. It's not always great, but then there's other characters you're like they sound amazing. So, I'm really liking though the I like the villains so far to
No,
this game, which is
you're
obviously
so I'm gonna assume then you're further than me.
I have no idea. I have no idea because the other thing is, and it'll be impossible to talk about this game, like even if we were all playing it, I think we couldn't talk to each other about this because the other thing about this game is things don't happen in order.
Hmm.
So your playthrough is going to be different to my playthrough. So until we've all finished it, we cannot talk about this game because I'll ruin stuff on you and you'll ruin stuff on me and until it's kind of like, have you gone to this place? And someone will be like, yeah, I have, yeah. And did you do this thing? Yes. Okay, grand, we could talk about that. But I don't think we could do like what we would have done in the past where it's like, let's just talk about Act 1 or whatever like that because like and that's one of the amazing things about the game design here is that if you just go out and just do things, it will guide you towards the story, regardless of whether you are actually aiming to do the story or not.
Hmm.
They have just found ways to you know, characters that seemed like an absolute random interaction will just be like, I'm going to give you some key information, and you're like, oh Jesus, I just thought this was just some dude. What's going on here? So, it's very, very expertly crafted, I think, in terms of game design. But yeah, I think all of our experiences would be wild, which is like so interesting too, because it's just like, when did this come into it for you, and when did you do like? It's reminding me of Skyrim a little bit. Take a shot. It's been a while. In that way as well, where you're like you go out into the world, and then before you know it, you're out on a quest that you're like, holy shit! I just talked to this dude because I thought maybe I was going to buy something off him. And before I knew it, it launched a side quest, And then hours later, you go, I've done nothing of the main story, but now I have a new outfit and I'm part of this thing, you know? But yeah, and that's the other thing, like, techniques work different to Ghost of Tsushima. It doesn't work the same way. So that was the other thing that was jarring to me at first because I was like so in the rhythm of Ghost of Tsushima of right, I do this and I get a technique point. I do this and then I get a technique point, and this plays differently.
Hmm.
Yeah, but yeah, it's so I'm really enjoying it. I'm just a little bit jarred by it a little bit because I'm still getting my bearings of like I'm like, oh god, I don't know where I am in this world. I'm still trying to figure out where everything is. So I can't wait till I get to the point where I'm just like, I have all the systems down. It's become second nature to me now. Any of the little changes and stuff, and I'm just so fully immersed into these new characters in this new world completely. But anything, Adam, you wanted to know about the game?
The main thing I wanted to know, but I think I kind of know the answer now, but so I always found that Ghost of Tsushima had a really, really poor start. And I think we can all agree that there's a very specific point, and it's actually quite far in the game actually, where it's like, holy shit, does this amp up like the emotion and the story and the character motivation. But the start was not great. It takes a while to build up to that title sequence of you on your horse riding through the long grass. From there on, it's like, yeah, I'm in now.
Mm-hmm.
How does the start for this in terms of the pacing leading up to that title reveal compare to Ghost of Tsushima?
Much faster.
Is it a better intro? Like, is it a better introduction?
I think so.
Because I just found like Ghost of Tsushima just kind of felt like a yeah,
This is
this
good.
is fine.
This is good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um.
I think it's a better start. I think it's a
Yeah.
better start. It was when it let me off the reins a little bit where I kind of went. Not that look, the world is amazing, but I think I really feel it was a mistake to have played Ghost of Tsushima and be in the middle of Ghost of Tsushima and then start Ghost of Yotei, because I immediately was like, fuck, what is this place? I don't know where anything is, which is so stupid. It's a completely different place. Why would you think that playing Ghost of Tsushima would in any way help you with this game? It won't. It won't. Don't do it, guys. Don't.
Like I'm gonna play Grand Theft Auto 4 and lead up to 6.
Kinda, yeah, where it's like these are completely different places. Like just treat them as their own games. This is ridiculous.
It's exactly how I felt leading up to Red Dead 2.
Right. Yeah, kinda. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, where you're like, I don't, I know that this has a lot of the same systems, but I don't recognize this game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like that. But not that, like, this is a tonally different game to Ghost of Tsushima in any way. It's not really. It's maybe a little bit more violent. It's got a bit of Kill Bill energy, you know?
Very
Yeah.
good. Yeah, there's an element of
There's an element of Tarantino throughout, actually.
Yes, I got a Tarantino almost weirdly enough like spaghetti western.
Yes.
But you
This
play
game
as
is a spaghetti western.
Yeah. No, I got that from I have a good sense of who the villains are, why she's doing what she's doing, and I've seen one of the main kind of villains in it, and that whole interaction and the way the scenes are shot, um, that's what made me go, yeah, I'm fucking getting this for sure, because it did
Hey!
100% look like, um, it wasn't just the way it was shot. And I think it's something that you haven't touched on actually. And I only got it from this one little trailer, and I know it's amazing. I haven't even touched the game.
Yeah.
The audio design,
Yeah, audio design
sound
is
design.
incredible.
So
Incredible.
when
I think at the Game Awards, and again, not that far into it, I wouldn't be surprised if this wins Best Audio.
sure, yeah, I mean, I haven't fully gotten into it yet, but just what I've seen, um, it's not just the audio sound, but when they decide to bring it in, you know what I mean? Like it's especially in the cutscenes, it's like what bits will be silent, which bit will be the sound of the rain only, the sound of like your footsteps walking across the wooden boards, how the music interjects and the timing. It's like everything. There's like a rhythm to it. That yes, it is like one of them Sergio Leone kind of Western movies, or which was inspired by Kurosawa anyway. You know,
Yeah,
the
it's a full circle
westerns,
kind of moment. Yeah.
the westerns were inspired by samurai movies.
Hmm.
So it's yeah, it has come full circle.
But back to your previous question, for me personally, I actually prefer the intro to Tsushima than Yotei.
Therefore, it could go either way, Adam.
go either way.
But it is faster. When you get to that
Yeah,
title card,
okay.
it is faster than it is in Tsushima. I just think the opening of Tsushima was more holy fuck, we're in for a cinematic spectacle. For me,
So this isn't cinematic. The opening.
it's a different. I see again. I think it's the idea, like kind of what Chris is saying, where I'm still thinking about Tsushima. So when I'm going into this, it's like that. It's a different movie. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I like
This is
okay
a
on that
spaghetti
scale,
western,
and I
so
get what
therefore
I get what you're saying, Eric. Right? So it's like one of them is like the
One of them is the
opening-
Last Samurai.
Well, yeah, or like okay, on a big grand epic scale, like Ghost of Tsushima is more like the Lord of the Rings, right? It's like big battle, big scale, and this one is like Kill Bill, you know. It's smaller, and it's like, well, which of those do you think is more epic? Because are you more
Right.
into the personal struggle, or are you more into the grand scale of like save my homeland, you know? But I'm really like I like this sort of Metal Gear Solid lineup of bosses that we know we're going to have to come and take down, you know? Like like the members of Foxhound kind of a thing. I think that's a really cool idea for the villains when you don't have the invading force of the Mongols this time around.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think it is interesting because it brings a little bit. It makes it more personal, nearly. If you can put a face and a name to them, like the Mongols just seemed like a like this almost like an alien invading force, nearly
Yeah,
to your
and it was
to
us
your
and
land.
them was Tsushima.
Yeah, yeah, and how do you do that? You can't do that again. If you do that again, it's just like I don't know. Do you know when you played Modern Warfare 2 or even Uncharted 2? I know that's going to sound a bit weird, but I just didn't like the villain in Uncharted 2. It just seemed a bit like this is a bit bombastic and a bit mad, isn't it? You can't really do that again. So I think the way they've set up the villains in this, I think it's nice.
Ah, it's so cool. Like, just her putting the thing around her waist and stuff that she's gonna wear. I was like, that's so fucking cool. Let's go. Yeah, there's just some really fucking cool shit in this, and I think it's gonna be a long game. Like, there's not gonna be a Brothers Take spoiler cast on this in 2 weeks' time or anything like that. No fucking way. This is gonna be a long, beefy game that I want to take my time with. I don't want to rush it. I'm enjoying going around finding new discoveries, finding new things. There's comfort in the familiar, but there's surprise in the new, you know? And that's kind of my takeaway from the game as well. But I've done myself a disservice. So I really want to stress that.
You big
Please
Aegis.
don't play Ghost of Tsushima first as prep. Plus, there's no connection story-wise, so there's really no need to. If you're like, I need to catch
Yeah.
up on the first one before I play the second one, it's like, no, you don't. You really don't.
Yeah. What's the install size like for
Pretty
this?
quick.
I just want to know how much storage I need to
80
what do I need
something?
to remove? 80?
Mine was over 100 gigabytes,
Okay.
so I needed at least 101 gigabytes, I think it told me.
I think I checked the back of the disc and it said 80 something.
Yeah,
Oh
I
yeah,
don't know.
that might be from the disc, but then there was an update patch, I believe. Is there a day one
Well,
patch?
yeah. So I deleted both Odyssey and Valhalla, and they were both like 80 something. So I really made sure I had enough space.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, you do need to, you'll definitely have to delete something anyway. There's no way.
Yeah, for
You're
sure.
like, right, bye-bye Rebirth, off you go. In you come Yotei.
No, it took fucking. Do
That's
you
great.
know how long that took to transfer onto my internal storage, man?
Oh, did you fix that
That's
after
gonna
actually?
see- Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
So hopefully that won't occur with Yotei. I feel like it probably won't, but
No, I wouldn't say
I
so.
wouldn't say
It
so.
seems to just be running far too well for that. Like,
Yeah, and it is like it's running ridiculously. It's such an impressive game, in what I've played so far.
what mode are you playing on in terms of the
Well-
graphics modes and stuff like that?
oh, I never check. I will check for you, and then I'll let you know.
On graphics mode, not performance mode.
Okay, because I heard there's a few options. I think there's like four. There's like four to choose from.
Well, there's also like they're more
See,
like
yeah.
filters, aren't they? Like it's outside of the Kurosawa mode, there's two new modes. One of them makes the game more violent, but also gives it a different camera angle. It's based off of like 13 Assassins or something. And then another one gives it like puts lo-fi beats into the game and stuff as you.
Yeah, I've seen. Them.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
That
I
kind of
didn't
stuff.
have the option to do those ones, but I suppose that's just
You go
in the
into
options.
you got to go in to
got-
look for
yeah.
them, but I suppose I'm first time around. I just want to experience the game as
Yeah.
it's intended, I guess, and then maybe.
No, I meant it just on the performance of graphics mode because there's supposed to be like four different versions for that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, again, see, I never really checked that stuff because I just play the game as default as possible to just see what that's like. So I'll check for you and I'll let you know what the
What the
forward
dealio
modes
is?
are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm really enjoying the game.
Also, I heard
Well,
it's
What?
lovely. I'm
Have we
Yeah.
got a delay on here or something?
I
well,
don't know.
mine started to kind of okay. I think there's a delay with Chris.
okay, that because your reactions were really weird there for a second, and I was like, You all right, Eric?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, no, it's a beautiful game. I
Any
don't
other
remember what the fuck we're talking about.
any other questions, Adam, on Ghost of Yotei from a non-spoiler point of view? Or and then if not, I suppose any other things that you wanted to talk about, Eric?
The only other questions I would have had would have
No.
been on the technical level, but it looks like you haven't delved into
I
that side of
think,
it.
yeah, look, I think like because we knew we wanted to do first impressions of the game in terms of what like players can kind of expect jumping into it,
Yep.
and I was had such limited actual gameplay time. I was just trying to go in to see how much stuff I could like get around to doing in a short space of time in terms of like upgrading myself, trying to get new weapons, taking on side quests, trying to get a little bit into the story to get a sense of the character and what we're going to be up against this time around. Um, I've done a mythic quest. You know, if you remember a mythic quest from the
Cool.
first
Yeah.
mythic quest from the first game, I've done what I think they would be classing as mythic quests in this game. I've gotten a couple of weapons at this point. I've seen new territories. I'm way beyond where Eric has been, but that doesn't mean I've played longer than Eric because it's possible I just haven't done as much in the first area that Eric has been doing, and that I've been like trying to just branch out a little bit to see new things.
Yeah, because every time I'm going, okay, I think I've done a lot in the first area. I'll go get on with the main story. It's like, never mind. There's now 10 other things to do in the first area. So yeah, I've been constantly circling back to do, and then I go back. Oh no, sorry, go back around. So yeah, I am not as far as Chris at all.
Dude, it's like day one. I don't expect you to be done.
Man, I should be like on New Game Plus at this point.
Yeah, to be fair, Eric should have cleared it. We're very disappointed in you. You're
I'm
like,
sorry,
yep,
let's
cleared
go
it. Game of the year. I am curious if it's going to get a Game of the Year nomination. Like, I mean, I think it's good enough. Like to get a Game of the Year nomination, it's absolutely incredible in terms of what it's achieving, in terms of gameplay design and game direction and all that
First one
stuff.
did, didn't it?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but we also think it came out in the year of 2020, where I don't know if there was a lot of games.
I think people loved the games that came out in 2020.
Yeah,
no?
I think did it. My memory's a bit shook, but did it not win?
No,
And
it was.
it got Players Voice Award,
It
right?
got the Player's Voice Award. The Last of Us
There-
Part 2 cleaned up and got all the
There we go.
awards.
Yeah. No, there was loads of games that people loved that year.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 7 Remake was also that year.
Yeah.
No, I know, but what I'm just saying that I think in comparison to this year, I don't know if there would have been as many.
Oh man, well I
to
don't know.
compete.
Claire Obscure, as someone who hasn't played it, that looks like it's probably going to sweep.
Probably.
Yeah.
That would be lovely if it did.
But what I'm saying is I'm wondering will Ghost of Yotei get a nomination for Game of the Year. I think there's other categories it will undoubtedly get. It's going to get Best Action Adventure, you know what I mean? Like it's going to get nominations, at least a nomination in Best Music. Like there's certain areas where it'll definitely get nominated. I'm wondering will it be nominated in Game of the Year because there are just certain games this year that are absolute critical darlings. And like Claire Obscure being one of them, of course, but there's Hollow Knight Silk Song came out.
Yeah.
And was like
Hades 2?
highly rated. Hades 2 came out, was getting 10 out of 10s across the board. You know, there's these kinds of games that I think Split Fiction was another one earlier in the year that did incredibly well. Everyone seems to be talking about this Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I don't know what the fucking hype is, but everyone seems to love that. So I just don't know if it'll actually even get, because a lot of people, like, don't get me wrong, the reviews are highly positive and people are loving this game. But some of them are also saying it's like, yeah, did you like Ghost of Tsushima? It's more of Ghost of Tsushima. And that might go against it in that kind of a, wow, this game really like shook me, as in it, like it really surprised me. You know? Even though I think there's actually a lot different, I think, personally. I don't think it is just, I think if someone says it's just more of Ghost of Tsushima, it's like, no, I think there's enough different here that it's actually a game in its own right. Of course, there's a lot of stuff returning here, but there's also a lot of new stuff.
Yeah, again, I think a good comparison would be like Assassin's Creed 1 to Assassin's Creed 2 or something like that. Where it's like, yes, you can assassinate and blend in with the crowds, but there's also a lot of other stuff you can do in it.
Yeah, like you can still climb. You know, you can still climb. Of
Which
course.
actually, oh, that's a good question actually, because it's a decent enough comparison. Is it as much of a leap from the first one as Assassin's Creed 2 was? Because Assassin's Creed 2
It was quite the leap.
is what got a lot of people into Assassin's Creed because they had problems with the first one.
Yes.
That's right.
No, I don't think it's as big of a leap because Assassin's Creed 2 refined not just in terms of gameplay and everything like that, and not just establishing like the core main theme of the series, but they also refined like the actual how to tell the story and
Hmm.
how to lay out the missions. So I think Assassin's Creed 2 is in just with a lot of the stuff is a bigger leap than Yotei would be to Tsushima.
Would
Yeah.
this be more of, let's say, what Miles Morales is to Spider-Man?
Mm.
New character, new abilities,
Yeah.
new
Yeah,
things to
that one is
do.
closer. That one's closer.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll be
Yeah,
closer. And also, like,
because
yeah, like there is, even though it's like you could expect to do a lot of the same stuff, there is a slightly different tone. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like Miles is a very different character to Peter. Um, and such is the case here too. Atsu is a very different character to Jin. Um, but
Or
I've
could it be
also,
like what Fallout 2 is to Fallout 1, considering Fallout 2 is based on like many years after Fallout 1? And
how many of these are you gonna do?
could it possibly be?
It could possibly be like Metal Gear Solid 2 to Metal Gear Solid 1, maybe. No, no, that's a
no,
big
No.
leap.
that's a huge
No, that's a
jump.
massive leap. Sorry,
Yeah,
no, no.
no, it'd be like
I scratched
it'd be
that.
like
I scratched that.
it'd be like Metal Gear Solid 3 to Metal Gear Solid 2.
Oh yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe. Maybe actually. Yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
gonna keep going. Like Gran Turismo
I'd
2
say-
to Gran Turismo 1.
It's not like Arkham City to Arkham Knight. No, it's not. Yeah, that's so funny. I am really like I'm looking forward to getting so much further into it though, and like really getting lost in the game. But and I do want to get more into Atsu's story because I've heard so many people, which I was so surprised to hear. And it's that thing of like I'm reminding myself of like it's like okay, you love Jin Sakai, but you've played all of Ghost of Tsushima, and there was a time where you didn't love Jin Sakai. You liked Jin Sakai, but you didn't love Jin Sakai. You thought he was fine. He was okay, and then you got to a certain point, and you went, "Oh my God, he's incredible. He was just holding back." So I'm because I've heard people say that they much prefer Atsu to Jin Sakai.
Yeah,
Heard
it's
that
something that's
a
surprised.
lot.
Things that surprised me was I've heard people say that they couldn't get into Ghost of Tsushima, but this one they could. Like this
Mm.
one, they prefer far more. Even though the review scores they gave don't quite align. But anyway,
It's so weird, right? That's kind of like as well. You know, like okay, just on this for a second. You know the way like the Snake Eater remake came out,
yeah,
right? And like it did really well, and everyone is kind of saying it's like it looks better and plays better than the original.
right.
And then they give it a lower score. And like we know for a fact that will not be nominated for Game of the Year, even though it is Snake Eater. And you're kind of like, was Snake Eater is one of the greatest games ever made? Should it not automatically get no? But yet we will hold it in a different category because it's a one for one. And yet, had it been different enough, it probably would be nominated because so were Ori 4 remake and Ori 2 remake and like Final Fantasy 7 remake. It's just funny that nobody's going to consider, like nobody at all has said this year, Snake Eater will probably be one of the Game of the Year nominees, right? It's like, no, not even for a second. It's like, but why not? What's wrong with Snake Eater? I just think, yeah. Same thing with the Oblivion remaster. Like everyone says Oblivion is one of like, the greatest games ever. But nobody has got to for a second even consider that Oblivion remaster would be nominated for anything this year.
Yeah, well, I suppose like as good as those two are they better than the other games that came out? That's the thing. That's the real question.
Yeah, well, Snake Eater.
Would it be better though?
Then,
Claire Obscure.
well, look at. Phew, you're talking about one of my favorite games ever there. Snake Eater.
Yeah, I know, but it is of a time.
Sure.
Do you know? You can.
They missed their time, Chris. Right? They
Yeah,
missed
and
their chance.
I know, and I want Clear Obscure to win because I think that team deserve it.
You can spit shine Snake Eater all you want, but it's still like a 2005 game. I don't know when that came out.
Yes, yeah,
Sure.
Yeah.
We'll agree with you.
yeah. I just it's just interesting to me that no one would even
Yeah.
consider it. You know.
Yeah, I do think there is something. It does kind of have an age to it, though. Like, there is something about it that is a bit old. If it was, completely different, then they probably would consider it, maybe.
I know.
Yeah.
That's the funny part. Anyway. But yeah, I think that's probably going to wrap up our first impressions for Ghost of Yotei so far. Unless, Eric, did you have anything else you wanted to say before we wrap up?
No, I think I'll end up getting into spoilers, so I'll say none.
Okay, cool. That is to say that we're really enjoying what we've played so far, but obviously we want to get further into it. We will be talking about it again. We will not be surprised to see, with how impressive Ghost of Yotei is so far, we will not be surprised to see it get nominated in some categories at the Game Awards and possibly win some categories at the Game Awards. But how do we feel about Atsu as a character over on the overall journey? I think we need to get further in to really determine how connected we are with this character and this journey versus the journey of Jin Sakai and Ghost of Tsushima. But we'd love to know what you guys think so far. If you're playing Ghost of Yotei, please don't put any spoilers in the comments, but please just let us know how you're finding the new world, how you're finding the new character, how you're finding the new story, the way it's all laid out. Are you enjoying it? Are you loving it? Do you dislike it? Do let us know all your thoughts. So if you're watching YouTube, jump down in the comments to share your take. If you enjoyed this episode, please do give us a thumbs up, hit subscribe, ring the notification bell for future content, including when we eventually do the spoiler cast, which we will do at some point. And to those who listen to us on audio platforms, you can touch base on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and X at The Brothers Take, again, to give your take on Ghost of Yotei. Thank you so much for checking out this week's episode. We will be back to talk to you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Is it better than Assassin's Creed Shadows?
That's the real question. Let us know.